that. Today I would like to take this reading from the book Essence of Self-Realization of something Yogananda said long ago. He said, "Live in this world as a guest. Your true home is not here. The deed to your house, the house you live in, may be written in your name, but whose was it before you acquired it? And whose will it be after you die? It is only a wayside inn, a brief halting place on the long journey to your home in God. Think of yourself then as a visitor on earth. Of course, as long as you're here, try to be a good guest. Be on your best behavior, act responsibly, take care of the things God has given you to use. Never forget for a moment, however, that they are His and not your own. How foolish people are to devote their lifetime to pampering their bodies, to accumulating wealth, to amassing possessions. When death slaps them, they will have to leave everything behind. People make endless excuses. I have no time for meditation, they cry. I have all these appointments to keep. Well, when God calls them, they'll have to break every other engagement. Death is the one appointment they can't cancel. Why waste so much time on things that are not lasting? Oh, blind ones, wake up. God calls to you from beyond life's pleasures. He calls to you from beyond pain, pleasure's twin. Seek me, he calls. Find in me the changeless joy that you've sought so long on the waves of change. And all you've wanted, all for all incarnations, you should find forever in me." Well, this particular little piece, it's not so little, of teaching is so very important. And it's one that we all get caught up in. When we get caught up in our own sort of self-definitions, in some cases self-importance, this sense that, oh, I'm so very, very busy, I can't possibly take the time to keep my appointment with God, to meditate, to remember the divine in all things throughout the day, to see that spark of divinity in others that we're in contact with, and to see it just behind the situations in our day-to-day lives, whatever those might be. Even if we're really helping other people who are in crisis and serving them just selflessly, constantly, being in remembrance is the most important thing to try to keep going behind all of our activity, even the best of activities. And so remembering that, it reminds me of the story of the 10 virgins who were supposed to keep their lamps full of oil, the oil of devotion. It's symbolic of the oil of the love for God and remembrance of God. And 5 of them had kept that devotion strong, and their oil, the oil in their lamps, they were full constantly. They never depleted. But 5 of them were more forgetful in their day-to-day activities, and the oil began to dry up. And suddenly, when they realized this, they realized their own folly of this, and they ran out of the place to go out and try to purchase more oil to fill their lamps. And while they were out trying to purchase this oil, God came to the other 5 whose lamps were full, and he took them with him. And when the other 5 came back from their purchase, they realized, in very real time, their folly in that situation, and vowed from then on to keep their lamps full of the oil of devotion. And it's such a poignant little story that's told in spiritual traditions, East and West, for us to remember all the time why we're really here, what's really important, to find our way like Hansel and Gretel with their little breadcrumbs, to find our way back through the avenue of the inner life, through the spine and the inner cosmos that resides within us. The kingdom of heaven is within. That's also the teaching of East and West. And when we remember that, we can be actively engaged in life, but constantly have that thought foremost in our hearts and our minds. And that comes through practice of God remembrance in our activity and going deep in our daily meditation. Joy to you, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Blessings. Bye-bye now.